friends, what's up? It's me, Vindy Vondo, everyone's favorite chapter reviewer, now streaming. I don't know. I'm doing something different this chapter review. I'm obviously streaming it, so y'all can see it. If things change, then I won't do it like this, so you will see the chat, I'll answer questions from them as I go. If this doesn't work as well, I'll just go back to doing it like normal, but we're trying it out this week, seeing how it works. Might be better, might be worse. We'll see. So, like always, let's go to comments, and then the poll, and then we'll jump into the chapters. So, Dot said, dog, Red Bull high on heroin, Vindy, kinda kino. I don't know what was wrong with me when I had that Red Bull. I was, losing my mind. What up, AAA? I was not in my right state of mind. I was a crazy person. It was bad. This comment from Rafa Racine pissed me off because he's so right, and I'm so mad. Where he said, it wasn't Samurai 8, it was Samurai Infinity this whole time. Look, I'm so glad. Look, Samurai 8 is over. We can party. My life's complete. I don't have to read it past this week. Once I finish it, I'm done. I'm actually excited to read it so that I never have to touch it again. And then, Cruel Andy's Thesis made a funny joke where he said, well, Samurai 8, you had 2 good chapters. I'm going to let you be bad for a little bit. And I'm not letting you be bad anymore. You're pissing me off with how bad you are. Which is what I basically said. But also, it got worse than I was expecting. I didn't think his heroism was going to get to infinity. That's some bullshit. That pissed me off. And then one more comment from Apple the Intellectual Octopus says, it feels kind of dumb to say this about a manga with less than 10 chapters, but Guardian of the Witch's pacing feels slower than it should be. Congratulations to you on Samurai 8 getting officially canceled. Hopefully Agravity Boys is next on the hit list. Even if most of this new stuff ends up not making it, I really do hope all these artists can come back after learning from the experience. They're definitely talented, and I would hate if I never got to see any more work for them. And so here's the thing. Here's I want to stress this because I got a lot of this while I was on Twitter proclaiming my extreme joy over Samurai 8 getting canceled, where people were like, how dare you be happy about it? People liked that manga and people lost their jobs. First of all, if you liked Samurai 8, I'm not taking that away from you, but maybe you should learn to read next time, alright? I'm not gonna be like, okay, well, you like Samurai 8, so you're a terrible person. But, I know what good manga is, so I didn't like Samurai 8, so I'm happy I don't have to read it anymore, right? And second of all, for anyone who lost their jobs, that does kind of suck. I'm sure they can get other jobs as assistants. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Obviously, it sucks to lose your job, but at the end of the day, that's the business you sign up for, right? You sign up for an extremely volatile and, consumer-based, popularity-based industry. So, yeah, it does suck to lose your job. But also, if you're not meeting the standards, that's just how the job works, right? So I don't understand that complaint. Whatever. Samurai 8's done. I'm happy. Let's go to the poll, which we need to talk about. So One Piece in the lead, 6 votes. Good job, guys. Yeah, exactly, AAA. They know the... I've been going for 6 minutes on the stream. I don't have a bot set up. Okay. One Piece, 6 votes. Okay. We Can't Study, 4 votes. Fuck y'all again. Stop doing this to me. Dr. Stone, 2 votes. It was a good chapter. And a Gravity Boys, stop! Then MHA, Samurai 8, no! And then Mission Yozakura and Undead Unluck. I hate all of y'all. Y'all do this shit to me on purpose. Y'all are bullying me. It's fucked up. Alright. Literally every fucking week. Y'all hit me with that shit. And it's so rude. I don't like it. Alright. So, I gotta read the chapters, because y'all said it looks like I haven't slept in 2 weeks. I woke up 20 minutes ago. So I am still trying to wake up and shit. So I haven't read the chapters yet. So I'm gonna read them as the stream goes, and then talk about them immediately after. So you might have to sit here with me and watch me read One Piece and talk while I read it. But the chapter review, people, you will skip the reaction part. I always do. I'm gonna skip the chapter. Or I'm gonna skip the reaction part and just go straight to the review on YouTube. So if you want to see me actually reading the chapters, that's something for only people who come to the stream, which is Unless I tweet out something different, it's going to be every noon on Sunday around that time. All right. So starting it, cover page is getting... Okay, so I should... So let's jump right into One Piece. Good One Piece chapter this week. There's a lot of things I really liked. The most important thing for me, though, is that finally, for the first time since fucking the beginning of Dressrosa, we see all of the Straw Hats together. I'm a little sad that it did it over 2 pages. Like, so when you go, right, there's like 1 page and then another page that has the rest of the Straw Hats, and we didn't get like that spread of them all together. And I'm sure that Oda's saving that spread for once Jinbei comes back, but... we have, like, all of the, the Straw Hats except for Jinbei. So the Straw Hats that we've had together since Thriller Bark are all finally together again. And, like, that's so good. And, it even goes to showing other people. Like, we see Zeus and Carrots on the ship and stuff. But the fact that they're all together makes me so happy. Because it's been so fucking long since we got to see them all together and interacting. Which is great. And they all look super cool, right? Like, Luffy's wearing this, like, cool-ass fucking coat that everyone's little changes they have fit their design so well, right? Like, Oda really slapped. Because he gave Luffy this cool coat that looks so good on him. It fits him so well. Chopper, he's just a little cutie boy. He's got a samurai helmet. Sanji has cool gloves that really fit. Like, if anyone keeps their shit... I want Luffy and Sanji to keep... Like, I want Luffy to keep that coat, and I want Sanji to keep his gloves, because they're fucking awesome. And then Usopp, he's cool. He's got, like, a cool headband. I like his outfit a lot. Everyone else, Zoro's just dressed the exact same way, because how do you make Zoro's design more Japanese? I don't think it's possible. And then Zeus looks... I love Zeus. He's got a little samurai helmet on as well. It's a really nice touch that's funny. So we see, basically, we see in this chapter, it's kind of talking about the numbers, because that's been a big part of this so far, is the numbers coming into this battle. And we see they come in, and the Straw Hats talk about the numbers, and how they're kind of missing some of the people that they're supposed to have. And then they're saying that, they couldn't get over the port, because their numbers were leaked, because of Kanjuro. Then we get to see people's reactions to finding out that Big Mom and Kaido are allied together. Kaido's to the point that Dinjiro's pompadour was a wig rather than that. Look, we'll get to that, because it is kind of sad that he's not as much of a good delinquent boy as I wanted. But we see, they're going, and look, there's some stuff that was really funny, which was, so we get the worst generation, right? And there are, the 3 of them are working together. Law, Captain Kidd, and Luffy. And I loved seeing them, like, argue over who gets to go, and then just all 3 be cool. And it makes sense, right? You have these 3 pirates who very much are people on their own and are very big and, carry their crews, but are still younger. And so you see them kind of argue over who gets to be the big pirate. It's great. I love it. So it was a nice touch that I liked a lot. Yeah, it was good. Then we get to see they do their attacks, and we were talking in chat while I was reading the chapter of what are Captain Kidd's naming things going to be, because he used magnetism, which I forgot. Part of why I need to reread One Piece. But someone made a good point. Who made it? I think AAA did, right? No, Gabriel Wright did. So it's probably metal themes, which makes sense because it was punk rotten here. Would make sense that that's what it is. We see Gear 4th and we see Law do his shit. And then as the chapter goes, we see Dinjiro come back. And there's a really good moment where he brings the Yakuza. And then he takes off his wig, and they realize that it's Dinjiro as opposed to who they thought. And I like that Kinemon's the one who realized. Then he even brings 1,200 samurai, which was so great. Like, he just brings all these samurai that he liberated. Super great. And then finally it's that they have the right numbers, right? And we get to see, I love the spread at the end where it shows, we see all the people that it's supposed to have. It's the full numbers. And the face Kinemon has in the bottom left of this spread is so good. I love it. He's so good. Really, really good One Piece chapter. Yeah, I mean, it's nice seeing after all this time, right? Because it feels even more so like this because of how long I think it's been since we've seen the Straw Hats together. But it's been after all this time we finally see the plan coming together, right? Because it was like all the time before, and then we had the Odin flashback at the start, and we knew things weren't going right. And now after what feels like it's been years because of the Straw Hats, but after a couple months, we finally get to see the plan is like coming together, and it's super cool. Especially because now we have more of an attachment to the Scabbards because of the Odin flashback and how good it was. So it's really nice to see. Really, really good. I definitely like it a lot. But that being said, that's it for One Piece this week. So let's go to Haikyuu. Hi, Kino. Alright, so Haikyuu is very good. It's so good. Like I don't know how it's possible for Haikyuu to be as good as it is, but like, because like so it's not like Kageyama hasn't had development the whole manga, right? It's not like Kageyama doesn't get development, but it definitely feels like sometimes like he takes a back seat to Hinata a lot of the time, right? Especially in the sense of like Hinata is like Kageyama's had his arc and he is the second main character, but we haven't seen until the final arc, we haven't seen why Kageyama likes volleyball. And just there is so much good shit. So we see set one's over and Hinata wins it, right? And then we go back and we see a flashback of Kageyama, starting with him as a literal 0-year-old baby eating a volleyball. And we start to see that Kageyama isn't necessarily just talented, right? But we see even from the time he's 2 years old, he's messing around setting a volleyball with his grandfather, right? Kageyama has lived his entire life surrounded by volleyball and playing volleyball and, with a volleyball in his hands. So it's no surprise he's as good as he is, right? And that's something that Haikyuu does that's so good. It's not like your talent just comes from the first time you touch a volleyball. You're insane. But that Kageyama's entire life, we even see, at one point, he doesn't have video games because all he does is play volleyball and train for volleyball. We see it, he goes to the gym, he runs, it's dark outside, and he's still practicing volleyball with his sister and his grandfather. And then his sister quits, and it's just him and his grandfather doing volleyball. His entire life has been volleyball up till now. So it's no surprise he's as good as he is. Which is like really, it makes sense. Yeah, of course. We see him wanting to be a setter. And then there's a great line, right? So you see, we can tell that he's obviously has some health issues because it mentions he has a doctor's appointment. And there's a great moment. So he's serving against these kids, and he lets his serves go at the end. Like he does easy serves because he wanted to play the game for longer, right? He was having so much fun playing volleyball that he didn't want it to just end. And then there's a line that fits in with something one of the coaches has already said about how the good players find them, which is the guy says to him, if you get really good, I promise you someone who's even better will come and find you, right? And then, it goes and we see that it shows Oikawa in middle school, and they're talking, and he wants to watch games, but he's, feeling sick, he's not well, goes home. And then we see, as it keeps going, Kageyama gets even more alone with volleyball, right? If you notice, actually, that's something really cool it does, where it starts with, there's 3 people, right? It's him, I think it's his grandfather. Yeah, it's his grandfather. So it's Kageyama, his grandfather, and his sister, right? And then it turns into Kageyama and his grandfather. And then Kageyama's grandfather dies. And it even shows a lot of Kageyama being alone playing volleyball, right? It's him doing all of the training that he used to do with other people just himself. Because that's how much he loves volleyball. We even see he doesn't get accepted to Shiratorizawa. Like, it shows him going through middle school. You see he doesn't get accepted to Shiratorizawa. And then we see the I'm Here, which... It's so good, because it's not showing the moment, but it is showing it. It's showing the scene from, like, the first chapter, where Kageyama does a serve, or I guess it's probably the second chapter or something. Kageyama does a serve, and Hinata shows up, and says, like, I'm here, when he opens the door to the gym at Karasuno, and Kageyama's there trying to practice, right? And so we see that Kageyama was alone until Hinata came in. And that was the moment that then it shows Hinata, and it brings back up the line where if you get really good, I promise you, someone even better will come and find you. And it shows this, oh my god. Hinata and Kageyama, like, look at each other, and, like, Haikyuu is so fucking good. It's, like, actually unreal, right? It's so good. It's so good. Because I love having their final match be a pro match between Hinata and Kageyama. Because now we can talk about past just being... Because, you know, a lot of it previously... And it's interesting because, like, a lot of the early parts of Haikyuu, you know, it is still very much about sports and passion and all these things and hard work. But there is kind of a touch of being in high school and youthfulness to it. Now it's just about the sport and the passion and what makes someone the top of their craft at a thing. And it's really, really good. So I love the way that this pro match in Haikyuu is kind of exploring all this shit. It's only been great so far, and I assume we're a third of the way into it, because the first set's done. So, phenomenal. I don't understand how Haikyuu is so fucking good. That being said, let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next manga. Because I've already been streaming for 30 minutes. I assume we're, 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the video. So let's move on with things and go to MHA. Alright, so MHA, good again. I don't know how... This arc is so good. So... There's so much that, I love arcs like this where we see everyone come together because it shows things that, like, you want to see that you almost don't even realize you want to see. Talk about KFC. Oh, no! So, okay, so it starts and we see, you know, Tokoyami, Sun Eater, and Fat Gum together, right? Anytime we see Fat Gum, it's a good chapter because I love Fat Gum, right? But then we see, you know, Sun Eater. And, you know, like I was talking about how only heroes who can be safe, or only students who can be safe, they put on the front lines. Well, you know, Sun Eater isn't a hero. He's graduated by this point, which it does state. But then we see Tokoyami's here. And we see he uses, I guess, Ragnarok. Which, the spread of him using Ragnarok is really cool. We see him using Ragnarok, right? And he uses it down this tunnel. And fucking Redestro gets it. Like, what the fuck? It's insane seeing these two go, and he, like, almost stops Tokoyami. But again, it's a student who has a safer power is who they're using on the front lines, right? He's not someone, like, who could be put in a dangerous spot. He's someone that they can keep safe. And we even see how they're keeping him safe in a second. But, you know, he knocks back Redestro, and then Tokoyami's little shadow boy comes back. Oh, I love the edgy names. Tokoyami's an edgy man, and it's so funny. Especially because of what we get in a second. But we find out fucking Gigantomagi is here, boys. He's going to pop out and be a big scary man, and I can't wait. He's going to kill like 20 heroes. Just stomp on him. Then we see they're keeping Tokoyami safe by having him hide in Fat Gum's belly. He's just like chilling there. It's so funny. I love it. And then we get... You know, he's thinking, and we see stuff about how, you know, Hawks trained Tokoyami. They're both birdmen. And then they use that as a transition to take us back to Hawks. And what's interesting is, you know, it's almost setting up Hawks. Like, Hawks isn't sentimental in a way, right? Where he's still taking down his friend and stuff. But this chapter shows Hawks really is, like, a sentimental guy, right? It's showing his relationship with Tokoyami. And then Kirsha and Mina will take on Gigantomachi as a callback to their backstory. That'd be really cool. Probably Dark and Falcon's ability to power Dark Shadow up. That's also a good thought. I didn't think about that. And then we go to the Hawks twice like fight. And what I love the part where Twice is showing his friends, right? He's talking about his friends, so he creates them, right? He creates the League of Villains out of his double power thing. To show, like, you know, these are his friends, and you aren't one of them. And Hawks destroys them. Which is so good. Like, that's such good, I don't even know what you call it. Like, yeah. Like, really blatant, but really good, obvious symbolism. I liked it a lot. And we see how, you know, Hawks is talking about, you know, whatever. And he knocks down Twice, right? And he's about to kill him. And Chad Twice is talking about how the moment where Toga wrapped her handkerchief around Twice and how much that meant to him, even though he had screwed them over, and now he screwed them over again, and that nobody's going to show them that kindness, even though we already saw Dabby in the last chapter doesn't even hold it against Twice, and he's about to kill him, and then Dabby shows up to fucking murder Hawks. Dabby looks so cool, and I hope we get like a good fight with him where we see more of like his character and stuff, but oh my god, he was so cool. Hawks is fucking dead. Dabby's just gonna murder him. I know I'm saying people are gonna die. I really do expect multiple pro heroes to die. I just don't see any other way for this arc to play out. Like, yeah, you're gonna, no, pro heroes have to die. This has to be, like, a sad arc at the end of it. And I'm so excited. Because it's gonna be so good, right? Because, you know, we even see that a lot of these pro heroes have relationships with students in 1A, right? For example, now Fat Gum has a relationship with Kirishima and Tokoyami. Hawk has a relationship with Tokoyami, and he's, you know, had kind of things with Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku. And then if Endeavor dies, right, Endeavor has stuff with Todoroki, obviously, but even Bakugo and Deku, there's, like, a relationship there. So, there's all these relationships, and a lot of these pro heroes dying could affect the, yeah, I think, okay, look, if I had to guess, look, Miriko could very easily die, which would be sad, because she's so sexy, aha. I love my bunny lady, but she's probably dead. And then, I definitely think Hawks is probably dead. Endeavor's been getting death flags for, like, 200 chapters now. I really think, if Endeavor doesn't die now, when is he gonna die? Because he has to die at some point, right? If anything, also just for the, you know, it's safe to assume Genus is definitely dead. Yeah, look, I think it would make, like, it would make sense if you have a lot of the upper heroes die a lot. Especially if you want to, after this arc, kind of have the villains be in a much more powerful position. Kill all the strongest heroes, so that way there's no one that can stand up to the villains. Endeavor character arc ends on his deathbed when he tells Todoroki that he just loved him and wanted what is best for him. And Endeavor's crying, Todoroki's crying, and all of us are crying. Endeavor's had too many death flags. I really think he has to die at some point. Look, I hope it's Dabby. Oh, I hope it's Dabby. Like, for real, like, that would be so fucking good. That would be so good. That would also explain why Dabby said that line. Oh my god. Hold on. Dabby had a line at the end of last chapter. Hold on. What was the line he said? He said, as always, scummy heroes are to blame. And if his dad Endeavor is one of those scummy heroes that he blames for everything, boys, gentlemen, we figured it out. We cracked the code. That's definitely it, right? Can we all agree? God damn. Hori's such a genius. It's definitely Dabby. And Dabby's gonna go on a murder rampage. He's gonna kill Hawks. He's gonna kill Endeavor. He's gonna kill everyone. I can't wait. Alright, I think it's most of what I have to say for MHA. Good chapter this week. I liked it a lot. Let's go to Black Clover. Black Kino. Alright. How is Black Clover good again? I'm so happy. Look, I shit-talked Black Clover for months and was just waiting and biding my time in the shadows to come out as a closeted Black Clover fan once it got good again. Let's fucking go. I don't want to hear, oh, the old arcs are actually good, Vindy. You're stupid. No, I'm right. I'm always right, okay? I am always correct. And I'm right again, and Black Clover's good now. So let's talk about it. So, first of all, it is so cool that this man uses his gravity magic to box. That's just like the coolest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. He's such a Chad. I love this demon boy, right? And then he beat the shit out of Asta. Just absolutely wrecked him. But then this chapter is mainly about God, I got pollen in my eye. Fuck. Okay. This chapter is mainly about what the fuck is her name? Shape-shifting lady in Gauche, right? And we see she was getting bullied, you know, some Cinderella bullshit. Dresses in her looks as her sisters, and then, you know, almost gets raped, but then Gauche saves her just because his sister wants him to. Chad Gauche somehow wants to fuck his, like, 3-year-old little sister. Kind of fucked up, but, you know, we're not going to question it. Gray, thank you. Is her name actually Cinderella? If her name's actually Cinderella, I'm about to start beating the shit out of something. Oh, that's the name of the chapter. Okay. Well, maybe her name is Cinderella Gray then. Little on the nose, Tabata. A little too on the nose, homie. But then we get to see, you know, he kind of saved her and allowed her to become, you know, a magic knight and a black bull. And then she starts healing fucking Gauche like a Chad. Let's go, Gray. And, like, you know, not bullshit. I don't care if Gauche lives here. I didn't really expect him to die. Chad Gray brings him back to life, basically, using healing magic. And then Asta is fucking dead, right? As soon as Gauche is alive, Asta just falls on the fucking ground dead. Black Clover's over. This was the last chapter, I'm sorry to say. But then Chad Yami, oh my god, he's so cool. I love Yami so much, okay? He's been the coolest character in the manga since he fucking showed up. And he shows up again with, Portal Man. I don't remember his name. I should, but I'm bad with the Black Clover names. And he's, you know, about to beat the shit out of everyone. I can't wait to see Yami fuck this guy up. Which makes sense, because we already saw when this guy showed up, he only really showed up for Yami before he knew about Asta. So, I'm sure it'll be, you know, Yami should repel him back, and then we get, you know, some cool Asta training arc where he learns to use demon powers, then fights this guy again and kicks his ass again, right? Something like that'll happen. But, we're finally going to see Yami show up, ready to save his black bulls like a good boy. I love it. He's so cool. Finral, thank you. Finral's awesome too. I like, look, the best part of Black Clover is the Black Bulls. Right? Anytime it's about Asta and the Black Bulls and their friendship and their relationship and the way that they're all misfits, but in their own way are strong magic knights. That's when Black Clover is at its best. So when it's focusing on that and that's what we're getting, I'm happy, I'm excited, I love it. Right? Like the spread where Asta's like, I wasn't blessed with magic, but I was blessed with such great friends. And I cry, he's crying, we all cry, right? So, that's, you know, Black Clover is very good. Good! Alright, that being said, that's most of what I have to say for Black Clover. It was a good chapter. It was really, really good. I'm really happy with Black Clover right now. Now it's time to read Kimetsu. Alright, so I guess the fight's over. I don't know what the fuck I expected. Sorry, I expected something good. Whatever, I don't know. The sun's coming up, and Giyu and Tanjiro are, like, trying to turn the blade red and kill Muzan since it's, like, you know, sticking out of him. And then Muzan's just like, I'm gonna turn into a big baby. Me baby. It baby time. Turns into a giant fucking demon baby. He's all veiny and muscular. It's weird and creepy and gross, and I don't like it. And he starts rampaging around the town, being a big piece of shit. and Tanjiro gets eaten by the baby. He gets vored, baby vor. And then you see everyone trying to stop the baby. And then, oh, what happened? Tanjiro's hand and the sword stick out from the baby and kill him, and now he's burning up. He did just pull an Akira, and it wasn't good. Well, I haven't read Akira, but it wasn't good in the Akira in the anime because it was just like ridiculous, and there was like chunks of the story missing. But you know, yeah, that was insane. And you know, next chapter of Kimetsu's chapter 200. So even if it's not the last chapter, I would believe that you know they want the fight to end on chapter 200. And then the manga to end a couple chapters after, especially because like if it's reaching the end of a volume number, it makes sense to try to end it on that volume number. So like you want to try to get it done around a certain time. It wasn't what I expected from the fight, especially because like as far as I'm aware, Tanjiro hasn't done the 13th dance, and I feel like you can't really beat Muzan without doing that. Like, not that obviously you can like they did, but like you know, why doesn't he do it to beat Muzan? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not the biggest fan. Definitely have some issues with it that I'll address. You know, like I gotta wait because I want to see what happens next chapter because like it could be worse than I think, and it could also be better than I think. I really don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Like if Muzan actually goes away next chapter, I might have some choice words for Gotoge. But if he doesn't, I probably won't. So we'll see. But you know, it's fine. There's some good moments in the fight as a whole, not necessarily that chapter. That chapter was really weird. I don't know why it did that. If you're just gonna have him disintegrate in the sun, you don't need to turn him into a big baby for a chapter, right? Like I feel like that's just like, is it like at that point it literally comes down to I want to have him die at the end of this chapter, but I don't want him to die at the start of the chapter, so I'm gonna have him turn into a big baby for 20 pages. I don't understand what's going on with that. It definitely feels really weird, and I'm not a big fan. So, I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe it'll be better if it goes, but as of right now, it's really not that enjoyable. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. I mean, it's just like, I think Kimetsu going into this fight, and even in the fight, like I even mentioned, I liked the last chapter a lot. I thought it was good. And I like certain moments, but I don't know. If this is just how the fight ends, I think it really felt kind of flat. I would have liked if the fight had just ended last chapter, or it just kind of ended as a continuation of the last chapter. Because, like, the last chapter was, like, okay, so this was 199. 198 was a better last push from everyone than 199 was. So I don't know what the fuck was happening. I don't know what was going through Gotoge's mind. I'm not a fan. No, I just don't think that was the right way to do it. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you, right? It doesn't make sense. I'm not a big fan. Well, not that it doesn't make sense, but it's just like, it doesn't make sense why you would make that choice as opposed to a different choice, right? Yeah, like, it doesn't make sense why you would make that choice as opposed to better choices that would be more entertaining and not as ridiculous for the point of being ridiculous. You know, maybe you could make an argument, oh, Muzan's turning into a big baby because at the end of the day, he's just a big baby throwing a tantrum, but, like, that's boring and, like, stupid and, like, no. It was a better idea when Muzan was turning into something that was less recognizable as a human, considering the whole thing was all the other demons turned human and, you know, remembered their human memories and disintegrated. And if you don't want Muzan to be redeemed, then why don't you just, like, have him turn into an actual disgusting monster, right? He already had this thing opening in his chest. I'm talking about Kimetsu No Yaiba right now. You know, he was already becoming less and less human as the fight went on. Why turn him into a baby, right? The most innocent human thing on planet Earth. Turn him into this disgusting monstrosity, right? To further push the idea that Muzan isn't human. He doesn't have these human attributes, and that's why he's losing. So I don't know what's going on with Kimetsu there. I don't think it's the right choice, thematically, or even just in the sense of, like, what would be an entertaining fight. I wouldn't call it good. So yeah, maybe, I don't know enough Japanese folklore to know if it's a reference to that. You know, that's one of those things where it could be a Japanese folklore reference. And if it is, then, you know, obviously I'm wrong, and it's okay to be wrong about that, because I just don't know Japanese folklore, right? But, as far as I know, no. And, you know, I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on Japanese folklore. I know almost none of it. And if it is, then okay. But just looking at it as it is, I'm not a big fan. I definitely think the fight could have been handled better. What happened could have fit in better thematically with the series and with even this arc as a whole. So, I don't like it. That being said, let's go to a chapter that could be really good or really bad. Promised Neverland. Great chapter. Look, Promised Neverland is like legitimately at its best when it's just being itself. It's being this idealistic manga, or it's in the middle of a plan. Emma's speech is super good. And it's great because, you know, we see Ratchet being a spooky fuck, and she even says, you know, she doesn't want to attack you. She wants to, you know, she's like, I'm not going to kill you. And instantly Ratchet's like, you're going to forgive me. And then we see, you know, other people are like, oh, you're going to forgive him. And we see that, like, Emma's not killing doesn't mean forgiving, right? She's not forgiving Ratchet, right? And, oh, God, it shows Yugo and Lucas, which isn't fair to me emotionally. You can't do that to me. You can't show me two good boys and use them against me like that. But we even see she's talking about, you know, just the line is like, we want to smile, we want to be free, right? It's so good. And what I love is that, like, Emma is able to convince, because, you know, Emma's a child, so even though the way she looks at the world is very naive and childish, it makes sense. She is a child. And so, of course, she's able to convince all these other children into her way of thinking. But it's also not even wrong, right? Like, the reason she's able to have these ideas are because she's a child and she hasn't been shaped by the world yet too much. And so she's able to think like this and able to convince other people to think like her. And most of the time, it does end up working out for her because she's, you know, smart and she works together and uses tools in the correct way. That she's able to live her life her way. And this chapter did reference coronavirus. And, you know, while I was reading it, Triple H said in chat that it dates itself. Look, I do agree that it does feel a little out of place to reference a real-life thing. However, I think that the reason that it doesn't date it specifically is coronavirus is going to end up being probably something like the Spanish flu, where people know about it and hear about it for a long time. So I don't think that it's dated by referencing what a current plague is at the time. I think it's going to be interesting with a lot of things, just to go off on this quick side tangent, where this is the first time since, I guess, you know, like the 1920s, there's really been like a big plague like this or a pandemic like this. And what's interesting about that is the way we do media, but also art, and also the way that we share information and can keep information stored away is so different now than it used to be, that I think that it's going to be really interesting looking back at how we document the coronavirus as to how we documented the Spanish flu or the Black Plague or anything like that. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. That being said, it was just funny to see coronavirus in Promised Neverland. And then we see, you know, Emma's even empathizing with Ratchet, right? She's like, you had your own things, you had your own reasons for fighting, your own, you know, like, you had your things, right? And so she's like, I don't forgive you, but I know that you're also a slave to the system. So let's just go. Let's be free, right? Let's get out of this. And that's nice. I like it a lot, actually. And, you know, she says, 1,000 years of suffering, let's live together, Ratchet. Ratchet is still probably going to try to kill her. We still see the knife sticking up. He even when you look at his face at the end, he's not fazed at all by her words. He's going to beat the shit out of her. Maybe not beat the shit out of her, but he's definitely going to still try to kill her. I think Ratchet being the big bad means that, I suppose it comes into depending on how everything ends up regarding Corona, the reference could end up in good or bad taste. See, I don't know. I don't think it necessarily, like, I don't know. I wouldn't say referencing the Black Plague is in bad taste, even though, you know, a shit ton of people died, you know. I think because it's a thing of nature as opposed to, you know, like an actual atrocity committed by another person. It's you know, it's always going to be something that is talked about. And I think it's not a negative thing at all. I think it's just a thing. Like, it's not positive or negative. It's like, okay, well, you did that. I understand why you did that. It also, another argument for why it should be done is that anyone reading now, and because, it is kind of a scary time. I know it's weird to talk about, but it is a scary time right now, right? People don't know what's going on. Nobody living has ever faced anything like this. People don't really know what's going on. And I think that by throwing in coronavirus there, you can kind of more easily relate what Emma's talking about to what's going on with us. And that allows for an easier use of, like, it allows people to more easily relate it to their lives and live in the way that the manga's trying to say. And maybe even be less scared as they can realize, like, yeah, like, I shouldn't live my life in fear just because of this, right? I should live how I need to. So when you think about it like that, like, I think you could argue it's a good thing, but it is something that is definitely going to be better and more poignant reading it weekly as opposed to reading it all later, like someone reading in like 3 years reading Promised Neverland. It's going to be less like, than it is reading it right now where, I don't think this coronavirus shit's reached its peak yet. I think we're a month away from its peak of threat, or more than a month. That being said, what's next after Promised Neverland? Oh no! Oh no! No! Boys, it's time. I gotta read We Can't Study. Let's talk about We Can't Study. I'm fucking pissed, dude. I was already angry. Like, I said last week, I was like, I'm not gonna rant about We Can't Study anymore because I can't take it. My heart can't handle it. But it's time to rant about We Can't Study again because I'm so mad. Okay, let's talk about it. So first of all, why? Okay. Why was last chapter this massive jump forward if this chapter is going to be a massive jump back? Why are you doing this out of order? You're not cool. You're not some smart manga who's like, oh, I'm going to tell an out of chronological order story. Aren't I so fucking cool? No, you're a piece of shit. You're making a bad manga. These routes are a bad idea. Stick to the one girl that works best and fucking stick to it. But, okay, whatever. We're going to do these routes, okay? You've already fucked up. You're already making a bad manga. Whatever. Okay. But then you have the audacity to fucking give me 2 of these chapters. Remember when, like, after the Uruka shit, when he's like, not that much longer left, guys, just a little bit. And then he's doing this bullshit, and now it's like, okay, so now we've had 2 bullshit chapters in a row, but this one you try to make it act like it's something more, where it's like, the entire chapter is, okay, there's a lolly ghost, she pulls down a girl's pants, and then we see half a page of Rizu in swimsuits with her big tits, and then she sees a ghost and pulls Naruyuki into her tits. And then they hide, and she's like, oh, we're kind of like boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh, we're almost holding hands. It's like, why? Why is this a thing? How does it work like this? How is this, like, okay, look. As terrible, as awful, as Naruyuki and fucking Uruka getting together was, somehow, this one's already worse. You're lying to me, AAA. That's not true. You're right, because this is ever since that Christmas night. Are you kidding me? We're going back again? What is this? This is so bad. Like, you're literally just, like, not even making it good. Like, why aren't you... Why... is it taking it? If it does all the arcs like this, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna be so angry, because this is terrible. Like, I thought Uruka was bad. This is worse. This is like miles worse. Especially when you compound it on the thing from the last chapter, where the entire reason that it's bad is because, in the first place, the only reason that Uruka ever won was because she confessed. No, I know. I just read the last page thing. Don't worry. I got it. I'm up to speed. I'm up to speed. I'm not happy. I don't even know what to say. I'm so furious. And not in a good way, in like the worst possible way. Where it's like this manga is so terrible that like it's blowing my mind. I don't like Agravity Boys. I think Agravity Boys is terrible. I don't like Samurai 8. I think Samurai 8's terrible. But at least Samurai 8 and Agravity Boys have always been mediocre or bad. We Can't Study feels like a sucker punch because it was good. It was like good. And now it's like awful, garbage, terrible. That's the worst part, is like, okay, if you wanted to do this, right? This is just 2 chapters of fan service in a row. And that's it. And then they're like, oh, look, we're trying to give you a little something. Like, no, you're not. You're just trying to show me your tits. Which, I'm not going to complain, but like... No, because the problem is... The reason routes work in a visual novel is because you make choices and go back to the beginning every time. In a manga, it's one story. And if you're going to do one story, you can't just do this. Unless you're doing Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. If you can believe this, gentlemen. I know for those of you that aren't reading it, this is going to sound terrible. Yuna is doing this idea of showing what all the girls' lives would be like with the MC. And it's doing it 1,000,000 times better. It is doing it 200 million times better. I'm not going to spoil Yuna because, look, somehow now Yuna is better at both being a series that just exists to show me these girls' tits and also being a legitimate harem and showing me what these girls' lives with the MC would be like. Somehow it's better at all of that than We Can't Study. Fucking Yuna and then Haunted Hot Springs, okay? It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with anything anymore. I'm so angry about it, too. Like, it's so bad. I'm not a fan at all. I'm about ready to start beating the shit out of someone at Jump. That is a threat, by the way. Alright. Well, I think that... Okay. If you wanted to try to say that, oh, he's trying to do like a visual novel, what's like... But... the problem with this visual novel was it's not done in like the correct order, and it's telling the story wrong, and I don't think you can treat a manga like a visual novel, which I know what you're saying. Is the anime for Yuna worth watching? I haven't seen the anime for Yuna. I've only read it. I don't watch anime. But the manga is probably worth reading. It's a fever dream. Yuna is one of the wildest things I've ever read. But yeah, I'm like in physical pain right now. It is so terrible and so bad, and it's not going to get better, right? Like, part of the reason that I'm having so little fun is because Worst Girl is literally the one getting an arc right now. But the worst part is, I know even when Sensei gets her arc, even when Fumino gets her arc, here's the worst part. Okay, look, here's the worst part. All right, when we go to the Shonen Jump fucking website, right? We see We Never Learn. Who are the 2 girls here, okay? It's Ogata and Fumino. But Uruka won. Uruka canonically won, right? Let's look at another one, right? Let's go Nisekoi. Let's look at Nisekoi. Who's on the cover? Who's on the front? Oh my god, wow, it's Shitoge and Onodera, the 2 most important girls, and the 2 girls who are there at the end. Okay, let's look at another one. I actually don't know any other harems that, like, I know who wins. But, let's just use that as an example, right? Like, wow, it's almost like when you just do whatever the fuck you feel like and don't actually plan things out and think ahead of time. Ichigo 100%. Let's go to Ichigo 100%. You're right. You're smart. Okay, let's try it. Let's even see if Ichigo 100% stands up to the test. It's not on here. Okay. Let's just look at the first volume. Wow. The 2 most important girls. Tojo Aya and then the girl who wins. What a surprise. God, look at Satsuki. She's so hot. Look at Satsuki, her big fat titties. Okay. It's a weeb club. Oh, ooh. Okay. Look. When Ichigo 100% is doing its shit better than you, it's insane. And the best part of Ichigo 100% is the ending as well. It's the ending in Satsuki. And like... I would put Weekend Study in one of the worst endings to a manga I've ever read. I physically cannot handle it. Let's move on to the next manga, because my heart can't take this shit. I'm gonna read... Okay, Dr. Stone time. Alright, look. I loved this Dr. Stone chapter. It was so entertaining. It was just a gambling manga. Like, Dr. Stone's just like, oh yeah, we're done with the science bullshit. Let's do gambling. And like, first of all, we need to talk about the real thing. The most important part of the chapter. Kohaku is great. She's a hot lady. I like her a lot. She's very good. Second of all, it was just such an entertaining gambling manga. Because, you know, like, 3 of the most entertaining characters are Senku, Kohaku, and Gin. And, like, I like, what's his name? Ryusui? The Ryusui, thank you. And Ryusui's, like, really good and entertaining as well, but he definitely was, like, the least, like, big in this, thing, right? Because you even get, like, funny moments, like, where, Senku notices something and says, like, check Gin's sleeve, and Kohaku just, like, grabs his arm and looks in his sleeve. And I love that there was, like, double cheating going on, you know? Where we get, you know, they cheated to get Ryusui all aces. And then Senku and Kohaku had been planning to cheat from the beginning. And cheated to get a royal straight flush. Which makes sense. I mean, it is just a battle of cheaters. But that's what makes it kaiji or, you know, any good gambling manga. Is that they're not playing it straight. They're cheating. And they're good at it. And just, the faces in Dr. Stone are so good. Like, the panel where, right after the royal straight flush, where he's like, your chips are all mine. He's got, like, his tongue going up. And Ryusui and Gin have funny faces with, like, their sharp teeth. It's very good. And then also it's funny that there's 5 aces in the game. Because he has a royal straight flush. And Ryusui has 4 aces. It's so funny. And he gets big fish lips at the end of the manga. Big Senku with his big DSLs. So now we see they take the harder route, but the easier one. I do like Lacquer Senku, you're right. So yeah, we'll see what happens from here. I like that Dr. Stone will... Because, you know, Dr. Stone's the kind of manga, I think, where the characters are all entertaining enough. And there's enough, like, dumb bullshit in it, especially with all the science shit. And, like because... You know, well, it's not even just science shit, right? Because at a certain point you have, you know, the people that they revived are the best of the best, right? Gen's like the best magician and best, you know, mentalist. And then you have Kohaku, who's just, you know, she wasn't even revived, but she's a hot lady. And she's really good at doing that and doing other things, like punching me and kicking me. And then you have, you know, these people who are like the best at their shit. So you can have a fun poker chapter, you know? And I'm excited... I always like the fun chapters like this, and I like that it's giving us at least one of these. I hope we get a couple more on their way to America, and then, you know, I'm sure it'll get serious again once we get to America, but I like what we have so far. It's really entertaining. That being said, that's most what I have to say for Dr. Stone. Really, really entertaining chapters, super fun, super funny, but I'm excited to read Act Age. Time to talk about Act Age. Okay. This chapter was so good. It was the perfect setup for what we know, or not we know, but it had already been set this was coming. Really exciting. So, basically, I'm not going to go through this chapter like the other ones because I just want to talk about what's going on, like, thematically and, like, storytelling-wise, as opposed to, like, going through the chapter with more of a fine-tooth comb like I do with others, because I think I'm having enough to say. So basically, the whole point of this chapter is to show that Yonagi is switching the focus of her anger and, like, everything from, you know, so first of all, we see the director does admit that Chad Kuriyama was more correct about what Princess Iron Fan is about than she was. It's not necessarily about hate and anger, even though the first performance we saw was a very good representation of that. It is much more about how you can't, like, you hate yourself for your feelings for someone else, right? And it starts off with her telling, we even see Yonagi's a lot stronger. She just straight up asks the director how she fell in love with her dad. But then we get to see that by the end of the chapter, what we realized is that what it really is, what really Yonagi has those feelings towards is Chiyoko, right? Where Chiyoko is a great friend of hers, and she loves Chiyoko. But at the same time, she hates those feelings of love she has for Chiyoko because ultimately, ultimately, Chiyoko's her rival, and they are, competing, but she still loves Chiyoko, and that feeling is what is going to allow her to do the play, which ties in so perfectly with the fact that when Chiyoko started her play, we saw that what she was angry about was that Yonagi wasn't thinking about her, but was thinking about the director, and the anger wasn't directed at Chiyoko, and now it is going to be directed at Chiyoko, and that's how Yonagi's going to win, is by directing her performance at Chiyoko. And I like that it skipped a lot of the performances and showed, Chiyoko's getting better, Yonagi and her team went back to square one, so their performance has been a lot worse, and now we're getting the last performance. And I like the idea. It's so good to have all of it, now that we're in the climax of the arc, it ends up being, it's about the competition between these two. Which makes sense, because that's what the arc is a competition between these two. So, of course, that's, what eventually it all boils down to is, thank you, Cloud of Buns, for following. That's what I like, is that it all does come down to this competition between these two actresses. Is very good. I like it a lot. It's definitely well done, and what I would have liked to see from this. And I mean, it ties in well with what we've even seen of what people have said earlier in the arc. And the entire time I was reading it, I kept thinking specifically about that line that Chiyoko has, where she was saying, I'm mad that you weren't thinking of me. Well, now she is thinking of you. And so it's not only is it going to affect Yonagi's performance, but how is this going to affect Chiyoko's performance? Because Chiyoko, even, we see, seems to be content with her friendship with Yonagi at this point, where she says, she mentions that she thought that it was either one wins and is done or one wins and isn't done, but that the competition never ends, and that they'll be actors when they're old ladies. And you can even tell she kind of means that they'll be friends as well when they're old ladies. But that feeling is what, the way that Yonagi feels about that, and even the way Chiyoko feels about that, is what Iron Fan feels. And that's, really, really good. Because it's a different feeling of love. Here we go, boys. Here's why it's good. It's not a romantic feeling of love. It's the best kind of love, the friendship kind. And as we all know, friendship trumps all. So, A+ to Act Age. Really fucking good chapter. I really like it. No, yeah, really, really fun Act Age chapter. I liked it a lot. It was so good because it's what this arc has been building up to now. Which it's crazy to think because, I think we all kind of thought that after the first performance and how phenomenal it was, that the arc was kind of over. But then we see that this arc is, yeah, of course, I have to. It's funny. But, it's building up to this, it's building up even more past this. And I can't wait to see what it does. I don't know, what I'm curious about the most right now is, are we going to get a long extended performance with Yonagi here like we got the first time? Or is this one going to be much more of a, is it going to be similar to Chiyoko's first performance, where it takes a couple chapters, but it is not this, because how long was, okay, let's see. So, chapter 71. Are they in the performance here? No. Sorry, I want to see how long this performance was. So 75, they're not. 83, are they? Okay, 83 is the start of the performance, okay? And the performance ends at... $98. So it's a 20-chapter performance, right? So, or not 20 chapters, but, 15, 16. So the question is this performance going to be that long, or is it going to be the 3-chapter thing we saw from Chiyoko earlier? Oh, no. Okay, sorry, I saw something sad. But yeah, so, kind of interesting. I'm curious to see how it handles it from here on out, but I'm very much enjoying it. Act Age was good. I will say, anyone I saw in Craft Store servers like, Act Age is better than Haikyuu this week. You're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. You're just wrong, but it's okay. I forgive you. Everyone's wrong about something. Except me, I'm never wrong. Alright, let's move on to Jujutsu Kaisen, which is chapter 100, which is exciting. I like that. Alright, Jujutsu time. Alright, so I like this chapter quite a bit. There's some good moments in it. For example, I liked when, we get to see this Chad man be strong as fuck. Just beat the shit out of this curse. I like the moment where she was like using her hand and was gonna try to fuck him, and then the lady, I can't ever remember her name, nailed it to the wall, and then he punched her through like 2 walls. Like, what a Chad. He's so strong. And then we get to see, I don't think I've talked about him. I love Inumaki. He's so fun. He just says fish all the time. There was a moment that I liked where it talks about, what the power of it, like the level of a grade 1 sorcerer, and how far, like, even though these the characters that we see are like struggling to fight something, and then grade 1 sorcerers can just come in and beat the shit out of it. And like showing that level between them is good, because it also shows that like these are the guys that trapped Gojo, the strongest sorcerer. And yeah, they trapped him because of alternative things, but they still had the power to trap him, which means it's not going to be easy for Itadori or anyone else. It's almost like using this, setting up this guy's strength as a way to set up Gojo's strength to then set up the enemy's strength in a way. I like that. And then we see now that Yuji's officially in Shibuya, so it's time for shit to really start. It's exciting. Yeah, I mean, because I think Jujutsu is something where it's, its best moment, I would say, was the fight with Itadori and the guy who did the human, I want to say human transmutation, but I know that's not right. But whatever, the guy who fucked with humans was, the best part of the manga so far. So the fact that what we're going to get next is kind of just, a continuation of that. Or, not but, their rematch is what I'm most excited for in this arc, as well as just kind of seeing more good art. Because, the art is so good, right? There's a page where the ponytail curse that got fucked got punched, and it was, really good. Or kicked, I guess? I think it was a kick. I'm not sure. But got fucking, sent way fucking, sent flying. And, the art's so good in Jujutsu. I love it a lot. So, I like Jujutsu. It's enjoyable. Fun manga. But that was also chapter 100 of Jujutsu. So, congratulations to Jujutsu. You did it. You've made it to triple digits. You've proven, you have staying power in the magazine, which is good. Unlike some other manga we're going to get to in a little bit, but before we can get to the manga that don't have staying power, let's talk about another one that definitely does. Let's talk about Chainsawman. So, what the fuck? So Denji, Sharkman are just fucking dead, right? Although we know, so now they're in hell. Okay, so, we see some kind of background on these characters, and then he turned into an old man, killed himself to take them all to hell, which is the real wild. 1 second, let me check something. Okay, so this guy, but he wasn't in hell at the end. Okay, so one guy got thrown out of the department store, and that lucky son of a bitch ended up not going to hell with everyone else because of that. But everyone else is in hell. We see literally a giant hand come down from the sky and snatch him. I assume it's God's hand. And now they're in hell, and it's Monsters, Inc., because there's a bunch of doors. And here's the most exciting part about them being in hell, is we've already seen that Chainsaw Man Devil is, the strongest devil in hell, and now they're back in hell. So that means it's time for Denji to show back up. Chad as fuck, beating the shit out of everyone. Ready to fucking murder everyone in hell. That's definitely what's gonna happen. And the hand is the hell devil? Okay, that makes sense. That'd make a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes sense if it was the hand of the hell devil, or the hand, I guess, was the entirety of the hell devil. It was cool as fuck, though. And, I'm really excited now that they're in hell, because, I mean, they've already teased it when they talked about, of all the whatever in hell, the chainsaw was the strongest. Now we're in hell. That's super fucking exciting. Hope Chainsaw Devil starts talking with him again while in hell. Oh, yeah, the little, what's his name? Poochie? Whatever the fuck? His little, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see what happens. Poochita, thank you, Dan. Yeah, it's really good. God, I'm so excited now that they're in hell. And Power's here, even though she hasn't done much. Well, I'm also excited because, like, what's gonna happen? Like, are they gonna have to team up with the Chinese lady and her hot ladies, or are they going to still kill each other in hell and then try to get out? Because I definitely see like they have to team up with each other to get out of hell because, you know, they're in fucking hell, which would be exciting because I do like the Chinese lady. She's cool. I like her cool ponytail lady that has a ponytail that moves and shit. It's cool. I hope she's the ponytail devil. Oh, that'd be sad because no one should be afraid of ponytails. The only thing I'm afraid of with ponytails is how much power they have over me. But I don't know if I would call that a fear. I wonder if the devil powers will work or not well in hell. I assume they will. I mean, we know the devils fight in hell and that they, you know, they exist in hell. So I would assume that, well, okay, definitely the devils will be able to do things. I don't know if the humans who use, like, powers will. But I definitely expect the devils will be able to do shit in hell, which would be cool as fuck. That's I didn't think. Yeah, like maybe the human. I don't remember exactly the specifics of the power system, but it would make sense if maybe the humans couldn't do their shit in hell because of you know, whatever the fuck's going on. Yeah, their contracts might not be in play. That would make a lot of sense actually. That'd be really cool. But I mean, I assume, you know, Power and Dingy will still be able to do things, and Sharkman when he comes back because he's not dead. There's no way they'd kill Sharkman. He's too funny. And you can't kill your funny characters, because they're great. Alright. That being said, this has already been long as fuck. I've been recording for 1 hour and 42. Obviously, we're going to cut out reading time, but this is the longest fuck chapter review. Alright. Let's, I suppose what I have to say for Chainsawman. So let's go to the end of Samurai 8, boys. I'm so excited. Alright. I'm going to read this, and then we're going to have a little bit of a party, okay? Fuck you, Kishimoto. I hate you because you're trying to emotionally manipulate me at the end of your manga into saying it's good. And I'm not going to let it happen. Samurai 8's finally over, okay? We can finally celebrate. This terrible manga's over, okay? Oh, Hashimaru, everything's infinity. And he's like, what did he say? I've cut loose the flow of time so that I exist in this dimension by borrowing the samurai souls of Inaki's group. Okay, dude. Shut the fuck up. That's terrible, okay? Everything's infinity. Oh, turns out, boys, Hachimaru's Pandora's box. And the 7 fucking keys are his 7 friends. First of all, don't you dare pull friendship bullshit on me right now. Don't you dare pull friendship bullshit on me in the last chapter out of nowhere. That's the first thing, okay? That is thing number 1. Don't you dare. Thing number 2, which is maybe even worse, okay? So first of all, it tried to pull this friendship bullshit. Oh, Hachimaru sacrificed himself, and so sad, even though she just thought until 2 chapters ago Hachimaru was her brother. Now she's in love with him. Okay, first of all, fuck you. That's terrible. Okay, second of all, Kishimoto over here is like, I'm going to emotionally manipulate this one man, because I'm going to give Anne, who he already thought was cute, long as fuck hair, and then put her in a ponytail with a katana, and be like, look at her, she's so cute and cool, haha, don't you want to see her? No, Kishimoto, I don't, okay? You're just manipulating me. Make another manga with a cute girl with a samurai sword and a ponytail, and maybe then I'll be excited. But you can't just, in the last chapter, be like, here's the best thing you've seen visually this entire manga. Here you go. No, sir, that's not how it works. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I'm angry about it. That's what I was mad about, Mega Ravi, is that Anne became a ponytail lady. At the very end, now Anne has a ponytail and a samurai sword. They're like, here you go. Here's your little fucking bone. Thank you for reading Samurai 8. No. Shueisha, thank you for canceling Samurai 8, so I don't have to read it anymore, ever again. Okay? Kishimoto, go back, reread Naruto 2 times, learn how to write a good manga, get a good artist, and then come back. Okay? Thank you. I like Mitama. This is a fun chapter. You know, it's weird when it comes to something like this because it wasn't like my favorite chapter, but it's not a weak chapter, right? Like I could say it's the weakest chapter recently, but that doesn't mean it's not good, right? It was still funny. There are some good jokes. I liked when she couldn't reach it. She's like, Zobura. Well, Zoburo's just funny, but she's like, Zobura, help me out. The fish man asking for salt water at a restaurant is funny. And then, you know, there's this player guy, and we get to see cool Spirit Man, and he gets fired and leaves. It's funny. I liked it. I think it's like, oh, Rina Hayes could be my Tuesday girlfriend. Like, all right, dude, come on. She's cute enough to be your all-days girlfriend. Well, no, I would say that, but Rina Hayes isn't even the cutest girl in the manga because Yuko exists and is great. I miss Yuko. Give me a Yuko chapter next week, please. What's the mangaka's name? I'm looking it up. Surun Hatomune. Please, sir. I beg of you. Give me a Yuko chapter. Show me your tits. Thank you. Yeah, no, Mitama was fun this week. I liked it. I mean, it's fun every week. I think it's just like a really entertaining manga. It's fun. It's definitely really hitting its stride with these joke chapters. What I'm curious about the most, though, is that, like, is this guy going to become a reoccurring character that we continue to see, right? Because the only other gag series I've experienced, kind of like Mitama, that it makes me think of the most is, like, Gintama, where, you know, Gintama has, and I haven't read it, but I've seen it, you know, and Gintama has, like, you know, it has the bum and the prince and all these characters that you continuously see in like, one-offs. And we know some characters, like the guy we got last chapter who told the fucking Lion King joke, right, is one of those. So what I wonder is this guy who we saw now going to be one-off and we don't see him again, or are we he's going to continue to show up and there are going to be jokes based around him? I'm not sure. I also liked when Rina Hayes told him, the guy, oh god, I can't remember his name, but Mitama's like friend from school, that his outfit and haircut were bad, and she's like, just like your spirit sense. And he's like, that's too far, dog. You can't bully me about my spirit sense. I love that he always just calls bullying. It's super funny. That's it for Mitama. It was a really entertaining week. Let's go to Mission Yozakura Family. Alright, look. This was such a great chapter of Yozakura Family. Because, like, the one thing that I feel sometimes the manga doesn't show as much, that I like when it does, is, like, the rest of the family, right? Because I know that I say my favorite part is Taiyo and Mutsumi's relationship, and that's definitely true, right? And it does show Kyoichiro a lot, but, you know, the other members of the family definitely get less time and just investment than, you know, those three do. And that's fine, right? That's definitely what it's going for. But I like when we see more of them, right? And this chapter is very much about the oldest sister. What's her name? Futaba, right? And there were a bunch of really funny jokes in this chapter, and then it got heartwarming, and then it got funny again. Well, I like the first joke where she's playing the game, and it looks like Taiyo, but it's like this Chadley version of Taiyo. He's like all muscular. And then the first bit of the chapter where it's just Futaba being scared, and she's like wrapped up in a blanket, or, you know, like when she's like hugging Mutsumi at one point. Where is it? Oh, I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's when she has like her legs crushing Mutsumi, and Mutsumi's like, if you don't stop my face, I'm gonna get stuck like this. It's funny. And then they start reading this bedtime story, and God, it was so, like, Mutsumi reads, like, the first page and just passes out instantly. Which is, like, I've seen that joke happen before, but it's always funny. It was done really well in this, just because Mutsumi's so cute. I love her. But then she goes, and then we get this whole thing about how what Futaba's actually scared of isn't necessarily ghosts or anything, but it's that the idea that no matter how strong you are, you can't stop death, or you can't stop everything. And that like, she considers that pathetic, and that she's so strong she should be able to stop that. And that's why she pretends to be scared of ghosts and stuff, because that's better for her than showing other things. I think Kyoichiro just falls out of the ceiling because he put in, what did he call him? protect Mutsumi spaces, where he gets along the wall and just follows her. And then he's like, my only mistake was making the walls as thin as possible so I could be much closer to Mutsumi. As he watches her at all times. It's so funny. And then he was also teasing Futaba. So she just beats the shit out of him. Ties him up into a human knot. It was a good chapter. It's funny. I love when Yozakura just does like a comedy chapter because it's always like actually funny. It makes me laugh. No, it was really entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot. There was a lot of things about it that I thought were super enjoyable and super entertaining. Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. And I think that, like, I know earlier in the manga I was like, well, I wanted to get serious. But I think after you do a serious arc, especially something like this when it's this early on, it is important to spend some time relaxing. I think it is important for every manga, right? I think that's a problem that you could say Promised Neverland has right now, where you get a lot of these, you get like this, and it is all the same arc, but you get all these serious things in a row, and when there's never really any kind of break for a little bit, even just like a slowdown in the pacing, it starts to drag on. Kimetsu has also had this with this arc, where people were like, this is going on too long, because there's been so much without like a break to the pace. And Yozakura seems to be taking itself very slow with it so far, but I like that because like it definitely is making me care a lot more about Taiyo and Mutsumi and all these characters, to where when it starts to get really, really serious, I'm really gonna like it. So Mission Yozakura Family was good, but sadly now we have to talk about two manga that I haven't read yet that I know are not gonna be good. Zipman and Agravity Boys. So let's start about Zipman. Okay, so here's the problem with Zipman. Honestly, the biggest problem is just that it skipped so much stuff that needs to go in the middle here. Like, this moment could have been, like, this fight, right? I could see in a world where this is, chapter 200 of Zipman. This is, like, the best chapter of the manga, right? And it's a great fight. But the problem is, we're so, like it skipped so much that all these lines, right, where he's like, why are you getting in my way? He's like, I'll destroy the suit to stop you. Or, you know, even like the one that really got me was the panel where he's like, we're supposed to make China smile, right? And it's Kaname saying that. And it's like, it could have been so good, right? The art is still great, you know, even in this fight. I think the paneling is good. You know, there's like good technical manga making going on here. But I think that, like, it just skips over so much of this bullshit that it's insane. Because it just skips all the stuff that we need to see to make us care, so that when, you know, we see Kaname grab Koshiro's zipper, we find, okay, well, he's not actually dead. Like, it literally instantly tells us, oh, he killed his brother. Oh, his brother's not gonna die. Like, why don't you have him, you know, kill his brother? Like, imagine if this fight was, okay, maybe not 200 chapters in. Imagine this fight's 100 chapters in, okay? But Koshiro goes away 50 chapters in, right? Or maybe even he goes away 25 chapters in, but then 50 chapters in, this fight happens. We don't find out till chapter 100 that Koshiro's not dead. So there's a lot of time where Kaname's like, oh, Koshiro's dead, I killed my brother. And then, you know, it's just like, you could have done everything here so much better, but instead you're just not. And it's just really sad. I just, like, I wish Zipman could have been given the time it needed. And I mean, look, it's not done this week because Samurai had to end. I expect we'll get an announcement in the next 2 weeks that it's the last chapter of Zipman. I don't see Zipman lasting past April. The only way I see it lasting is if, with the coronavirus, like, well, we don't want to Axiom. Well, no, I say that, but Samurai 8's over, actually. Okay, well, no, it shouldn't soon. I don't see it lasting that much longer. And it's just sad. It's not like other ones where it makes you mad. Zipman is terrible, and it just makes me sad, because, like, I do think Zipman could have been really good. I think it's, like, the paneling and the art is great. and I would love to see this artist come back, maybe with a good writer, or even just come back and hopefully get to stay in the magazine, you know? But we'll have to see. I think the biggest problem, if I had to say, is that he's doing a superhero manga. He's doing like a common writer, like kind of superhero-ish manga when MHA is in the magazine. And like, you know, you could argue, well, there's like currently 3 series with like wizards or witches or some shit, right? Because you have Mashle, Guardian of the Witch, and Black Clover. But Black Clover and Mashle are very different. Guardian of the Witch is getting canceled, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, no, I mean, I think Zipman could have been great. It just was rushed so hard that it's like, what's even the point? Which, it's fine. Like, it, you know, it happens. And I mean, the worst part to me about Zipman is I could pinpoint the chapter where it killed itself, you know? I thought it was a single person, too. That's what I'm saying. Instead of him writing his own manga, just get a better writer. But thinking about it, like, I don't actually think the writing is the problem. I think it was chapter 11, right? That was the chapter? Yeah, it was chapter 11 was the problem. You know what the best part is? Really quickly, boys. Let's look at chapter 11 of Zipman. First line in chapter 11 is, after that day, everything changed. You're right, everything did change, because your manga got terrible. So yeah. Chapter 11 is what I could pinpoint as the single moment Zipman started to get terrible. It is a single person. Guardian of the Witch is not officially getting the axe, but if you think Guardian of the Witch is going to stay, I'm sorry, but it's definitely not. Of all the new things in Jump right now, from like Mitama down, I think the ones, if I had to pick 3 that I would say would probably stay, it's probably going to end up being Mitama, Yozakura, and Mashle. I could see Undead Unluck staying. I hope Agravity Boys doesn't stay. But probably Mitama, Mashle, and Yozakura are the 3 that I think have the best chance of staying past, Undead Unluck probably not. Agravity Boys hopefully not. God, I'm so excited to read Mashle, but before we can get to Mashle, we gotta read Agravity Boys, so we gotta go in order, so it's Agravity Boys time. This chapter is terrible, but there was one joke that made me laugh, and I'm gonna have to hear about it. So first of all, fuck you, Dot. So this chapter was whatever. I don't like the idea of, oh, now they're just gonna go to some place for a flirt off. Ha 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 ha. We're so funny. The only joke I like is I liked when Gerald went up to these ladies and just like instantly couldn't talk. I think Chris on the side of the panel did kind of ruin it, but just the way he's like, I got it, guys. I got this. I just instantly can't even talk to these girls, even though he's insanely confident with his boys, is funny. Because, everyone's seen guys like that. Then I did think it was funny seeing robots hit on another robot. But you don't like it, Gravity Boys, but this is the funniest chapter yet. You think you smiled. Look, I mean, I still hate the idea behind this chapter. It's like, oh, what happened to Earth? Like, the manga is just doing stupid shit. I don't think Gravity Boys is in any way good. This chapter did have a good joke, though. Like, I will admit that, like, I can't even lie. This chapter made me laugh, right? But that's all I'm going to say. Not great. Chris is... The worst part, okay. The worst part about the manga, okay, is that the whole idea is that they're supposed to be, they're supposed to be on this island with all these cute girls, and the cutest person in the manga is still Chris. That's the biggest problem with Gravity Boys. If I could sum up Gravity Boys in a sentence, it'd be that. They go to this red light district that's supposed to have a bunch of cute alien girls, and the cutest person is still Chris. But yeah, that's most of what I have to say for Gravity Boys. I agree. Craiggasm. Chrisgasm, some might say. Alright. That is it for Gravity Boys, because I don't want to read that manga anymore. So now let's read the 3 new boys that are good. So, Undead Unluck time, boys. First of all, Andy looks so fucking cool in his Chad boy suit. Like, the way, and I love the way it hides the suit and how he looks in it when it, like, is fully good until after he gets, like, boomed so they can have, like, the cool, basically chapter 6 point, like, going forward, he's gonna be constantly naked. Yeah, it's good. I love it. The suit is so funny. And I love that, like, Andy's so, like, you know, if I'm gonna wear clothes, they gotta be so specific. The guy can't take control of Andy because the clothes are never gonna be good. It's funny. And I like that now his clothes will talk. So now, you know, they'll talk to the clothes. You know, there's some other funny stuff, like, I like, what's her name? Unluck Lady. I can never remember her name. Using her, like, power to save her friend, and then Andy comes and saves her from the clothes. I would like to see what kind of clothes she would like, though. Hopefully it would be something sexy. Shows her big tits. I like that every time he dies because she gets all hot and bothered. It's so funny. I also like seeing her use her power finally, like, on her own to do things instead of having to let Undead Man be like, use your power now. She's like, I'm going to use my power to help her. It's really nice. And seeing that she doesn't do it too long, so she doesn't kill the girl, she just kind of knocks her out, is a good use of it. I like it a lot. There's a lot of good stuff. He looks super cool in this suit. I'm excited for the New York chapter next week. Yeah, no, I mean, good manga. A lot of good in it. I'm a big fan of Undead Unluck this week. And I like that, you know, we see that people in the upper parts of the organization were waiting for Undead the whole time, and now he's in it, and he's all cool and shit. I like it a lot. Undead Unluck is great. It's weird, because, like, Undead, I like the first 2 chapters. I didn't like 3 or 4, and ever since, like, 5 or 6, it's been, like, good. And, like, now I'm a big fan of Undead Unluck, and I hope it continues, because it's definitely enjoyable. And I like, he looks so cool in this suit. Like, it fits him so well. It makes me wonder, like, was he always designed to be wearing a suit from the start? Because if so, like, you're a smart man. It is sad that we won't get his big swinging dick censored every chapter, though. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Alright, it's Mashle time, though. Mashle is so good. There's so much... Okay. It's so funny. The way he gets, like, the thing, and just everything about, like, Mashle being like, you're a pedo. And he's like, I gotta tell the police. He's a criminal. And he goes, that's my sister. And the way Mashle just goes, and that makes it better. Or he's like, what's the most important thing in the world? Mashle tries to say cream puffs. He says wrong. And then Mash gets some other answers. And then tries to say cream puffs again, like a Chad. He's so funny. I love him. And then just the line, okay, a little creepy, bud, is very good. Because just the way Mash talks gets me so good. It's so funny. It's so dry all the time that but it's funny because it's like it's dry in a way where like Mash still isn't the straight man, right? It's super good comedy. I like it a lot. He is a galaxy brain Chad man. I agree. He looks so. I agree with what AAA said. He looks Kino as fuck in his track gear when he went to grab the bottle, and we see that you know this man has the same goals as Mash does. To become a divine visionary and make it so that people without magical powers aren't dead. So I'm sure he's not going to hate Mash once he finds out Mash doesn't have magical powers, right? And then, you know, Mash even says, like, you're not that bad a guy, let's stop fighting. And he just saves his friends. And I love, he even says a line, like, I can't fail him, I won't lose. Because Mash wants to save his friends. He's a good friendship man. I love him. Then he saves his friends, and we see his bestest friend is, like, holding onto his legs. Andy and Suit are Mash in tracksuit. I gotta go with Andy in a suit. Mashle is a better manga. This chapter is better. I gotta go with Andy in a suit, though. Hey, Francie. Andy in a suit was cooler, but Mash was very cool. Very Kino. I like it a lot. I like that right now Mashle's taking its time to kind of build up the... you know, like the main characters that you need to know. I do want more of the lady, because all we've really seen of her was her at the very beginning in Mash's test. And then we saw her at the start of last chapter where she wanted to study with Mash. Oh, I definitely think it's improved. I would agree. I think not only the art, I think the paneling has improved a lot, and like the pacing of it has improved. I think effects look better, and you could even attribute maybe some of this to getting better assistance. But I think effects have improved. I think even the jokes have improved. Like Mashle literally gets better every week. And by that I don't mean that necessarily like this isn't the funniest chapter of Mashle, right? This isn't Mashle's best chapter, but I think that Mashle is continuing to improve in ways where you can tell it's improving, and like the jokes that it's doing are like you know, this chapter is really funny, even though this chapter wasn't just a joke chapter, right? And by that, like, I think that Mashle is showing clear improvement every chapter in this really, really good way, where like, you know, even if this isn't the best chapter of Mashle, every week Mashle is better, just in the manga, like the technical manga making, and the writing and the joke writing. So Mashle is something where I don't know how well it's doing in Japan. I don't, but I fucking hope that Mashle continues to do phenomenally in Japan. Or I hope Mashle does phenomenally in Japan and stays in the manga, because I think if it could, obviously it will continue to improve to a point where it plateaus and it reaches like the best it can be, but it's not there yet, and I really think that it could be, right? So that's how I feel on Mashle. There's a lot of really good stuff in it. I like it a lot. And I hope more than any other, like as much as I like Mitama, as much as I like Yozakura, as much as I like Undead Unluck, I want Mashle to stay right now more than anything else, because I want to see what Mashle can do, because it's so good. It's so funny. And it's not even that I want to see what it can do. I just want, like, if Mashle stayed at this level of quality for the rest of the manga, I would be content with it, right? But I know it's going to continue getting better. And that's what's so exciting to me about Mashle, is that, like, it's still getting better. It's still good. And, like, that's what's great about it, right? So I'm really excited for Mashle. That being said, that's most of what I have to say. So let's go to Guardian of the Witch. It was good. Look, so I was mentioning earlier how I think Guardian of the Witch has the least staying power, and I still think that's true of these 3 new ones. I definitely think it's the one that's most likely to get canceled, but there were some things in it that I actually definitely enjoyed. Like, I like that, you know, Fafnir was, because I was a little confused about the fact that it started off, and like at the very beginning of the manga, he's like, I want to fight without the witch. And then his first real fight, he needs to use the witch, which is funny, but there were some interesting things, like the fact that, yeah, like the Top Hat Sensei guy was a guardian who was in love with his witch. So he might try to teach Fafnir ways to fight without using his witch, and that Fafnir recognizes his own weakness, that he couldn't fight on his own. And that's like really good. I really enjoy that. And so there was some good stuff going on with that I definitely enjoyed a lot. I also like I like the idea, like, okay, surpass me in 3 days, you know? And I mean, it's gonna happen, and we'll see some cool training. And that's, I think, when I think Guardian of the Witch is really gonna have to prove itself. Because, you know, when you compare it to some of the other manga, right? Like, when you compare it to most of the newer manga, the only other manga I can think that had training, that's like already kind of had a training arc, is Yozakura. I'm pretty sure, right? Samurai doesn't count as being real; it's dead. Chainsawman, I don't think really has had training arc. Undead Unluck hasn't. Mitama hasn't. Zipman and Agravity Boys, no. Yeah, so the only one is Guardian of the Witch. And so I think that, or Yozakura, but Yozakura was handled a lot differently because the training was just kind of like this thing going on as an excuse for jokes. Guardian of the Witch isn't really as much of a joke manga. So I think that it's important that Guardian of the Witch handles this training arc well, and I think it has to introduce some interesting ideas in these next few chapters. And I'm going to introduce one good idea of the, you know, this guardian who was in love with his witch, and they had like a thing, but he had to kill her. And that even sets up, you know, if Fafnir and Manafsa end up, you know, boning, then, you know, it's already set up that kind of plot line. You hope this manga can improve his art. It's been feeling really stiff. Yeah, well, I definitely think his art just feels like he was Tabata's assistant, and it shows because it feels like discount Black Clover art, very much, with like the shading and the way people are drawn and stuff. And I would like to see, because I think almost not all of them, but like when I look at Jump right now, right? I will also say this is true of Zipman, where I think Zipman looks too much like MHA. But I think most of the other manga, especially ones that have stayed, look very different, right? They don't all have the same style, right? Like, One Piece has a very definitive style, distinct style. So does MHA, so does Promised Neverland, Kimetsu, Haikyuu, Dr. Stone, Black Clover. Even, like, in the new manga, I would say, like, Mashle and Mitama have very distinct styles. Yozakura is probably, one of the least distinct styles. Chainsawman, Jujutsu, obviously very, you can tell what they are by how they look. I think Yozakura family doesn't have that distinctive a style, but it's fine for it. I'm pretty sure I looked, and Zipman's author was one of Horikoshi's assistants. Yeah, I feel the same way, where, like, Guardian of the Witch's first 2 chapters I thought were really, really good. I thought they were better than Mashle or Undead's first 2 chapters. I definitely think that it slowed down a bit, but I could see it using this moment here as this catalyst to pick back up and get really good again. I think I mentioned this last week, but I think that, like, as a new manga, you need to continue improving and continue getting better. Otherwise, you can't really do much. And I would say Guardian of the Witch hasn't improved. Until now, I haven't seen signs of it being potentially able to improve. This is the first time I'm like, okay, now it can start getting better. Mashle gets better every week. Undead Unluck is getting better. Mitama, insanely better. So I definitely think that, like, I can see Guardian of the Witch getting really good still. It's not there yet, and I definitely think it's the weakest of the 3 new boys. But I actually don't want any of these 3 to get canceled. It's not like at this point where I want Agravity and Zipman to be gone from my site, like Samurai 8 was. Because, look, here's the thing. Weekend Study's bad. Weekend Study's not getting canceled. I'm sorry, it's not. It'll be in the magazine till it ends. I'm sold probably the most on the Witch Lady, Manafasa. Fafner's fine. He's okay. I like him, but I don't love him. I like the main Witch Lady. I don't really care about the other girl at all. So I would say it needs to do more selling on all the characters. Like, it needs to do more to put these characters over. But it could do it, definitely, I think. And, I mean, again, like, Guardian of the Witch is a series that I look at and I'm like, okay, this has the potential to be a really good series. It just needs to do it. So, we'll see. That being said, okay. We're done with Guardian of the Witch. Let's get to the weekly awards. Spread of the week, to no surprise to anyone who read the manga, the final page of Haikyuu wins Spread of the Week. There's no competition, I think. It's phenomenal. If you want to see it, watch the video. It'll be on screen. Because I don't want to... Here, I'll show it really quickly. That one. So, yeah, poor Zipman, dude. So, Haikyuu wins my Spread of the Week. Chapter of the Week's really hard for me, because I have to cut out a couple chapters that I really liked, I think. So, last week was really, really good for everything in Jump. This week, I think, isn't as good, but was still enjoyable. So, my favorite chapter... Okay, wait, no, I do 3, 2, 1, right? Okay, so my third favorite is Act 8. Yeah, Act Age gets my third favorite of this week. I really liked Act Age. There's a lot of really interesting stuff going on in it, and I'm really excited to see what happens. My second favorite is Mashle, actually, because Mashle was, like, ultra Kino. It was funny. It was heartwarming. It had everything I want. It had Mashle in a tracksuit. Made me a little horny. Mashle was good. And my number 1 was Haikyuu again. It's just so good. Haikyuu's just so good. And I think more than any other, this Haikyuu chapter deserves to be number 1 because it recontextualized Kageyama, a character that we've known for 400 chapters now. So I just can't give number 1 to anything else because it gave some of the best shit to a character who's been a main character for 400 chapters now. I think I'm going to find it because Alexander made a actually good tweet about it. Let me find it. He made a great tweet about it. The latest Haikyuu chapter just turned Kageyama from an amazing character into a masterful one. He wasn't a character who needed this sort of recontextualization, but all the new information really puts his whole journey into perspective and really deepens him. So he's definitely right, and I think that just that alone makes this Haikyuu chapter phenomenal. And then, you know, okay, I do want to give honorable mentions. One Piece, finally seeing all the Straw Hats together again. I know why people say it's their favorite of the week. It was really fucking good. I love it a lot. Seeing everyone together, great. MHA, fucking great as well. It was hard to not give MHA my favorite chapter, put MHA in the top 3 either, because MHA was so good. Like, I could easily have put either One Piece, MHA, or Act Age in the number 3 slot. They were all 3 so fucking great. They were really, really good chapters. Yozakura was also good. You know, I mean, y'all, those of you watching the stream sat here and watched. I laughed harder at Mashle than I did anything else. We got to see the Straw Hats, the new Straw Hat outfits that were really good. One Piece was great. I definitely don't blame anyone for putting One Piece high up. I just had to give it to MHA. Or, no, I had to give it to Act Age. Because I think that what Act Age is doing with build up to the next thing is, like, really, really good. But that's the end of my first streamed chapter review. I feel like the people watching enjoyed it. But also, I mean, obviously, I only have 13 viewers right now. More people watch it on YouTube. So I'll have to see how YouTube views go. If you guys liked it, be sure to let me know. If you want me to go back to the other way, be sure to let me know. I'll do what you guys want. I just wanted to try this out. It was an idea given to me by What the What, and I was like, that sounds like that could work. Let me try it. So I'll see how it goes. I'm open to anything. If it would be easier for people if I streamed on YouTube, I can do that as well. Just let me know what you guys think would be best. That's the way it is, though. If you saw the stream and you're like, wow, that sounds fun, I want to also read the chapters with Vindy. Come on later. I'm not going to continue streaming, sorry. I do need to play Animal Crossing, but I don't feel like it. I also, either way, need to end the stream because I haven't eaten today. Because I literally woke up and started the stream, so I'm super hungry right now. But, yeah, I mean, if you guys watch the video and you think the stream might be fun as well, come check out the stream. You know, I respond to comments here, but I'm obviously still going to read YouTube comments at the start. But I appreciate anyone watching, whether it's on Twitch, on YouTube, any kind of support. Yeah, I should use the bathroom, but I literally woke up and started the stream. Like, I did nothing other than read Spy Family. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter to see where the next stream is going to be, whether it's Twitch or YouTube. Maybe I'll try it on Twitch and on YouTube and see which people like more. I'll do the chapter come out a little earlier next week so I can read the chapter before the stream start. Yeah, I might push the stream back a little bit because I tried to do it at noon because I think they come out at like 10. Maybe next week I'll do it, you know, maybe I'll start the stream a little bit later so that way people have time to read all the chapters and everything. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it a lot, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.